Hi there everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to your reading. Before we get right into it, I have a small announcement here that I'd like to make, and it's regarding the format of the readings that I'll be delivering, specifically for the mid portion of the month. So this reading that we're getting into now pertains to the 1st to the 15th approximately, and I generally have available on this channel a reading for the 15th to the 30th. Okay, so the way that I want to do it this month is I want to give the bulk of my time and my energy to the mid-monthly general readings. So that requires of me to reduce the amount of time and energy that I put into the private services that I offer, okay, private readings and things like that. So to do that, I've decided to form a subscription base for this mid-monthly reading, okay, that I'll be offering for all the signs around the 11th of October. So you can feel free to sign up for that mid-monthly reading to gain access once this video goes live. So right, watching this, you can click the link below in the description box that I provide, and that will link you to where you can save access to this mid-monthly reading. The price will be set at $222, okay, and all readings will be delivered to everyone who signs up on the 11th, okay, of October. So you'll get it just before the 15th of October, beginning the cycle to the second half of the month. Otherwise, thank you so very much for tuning in, everyone, and enjoy this first half of the month reading. Bye. Hi there, Capricorn. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is your October reading. Let us get right into it here. Capricorn, I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera, and there was this emphasis on the variables, okay, weighing the variables, considering the many variables. So getting, though, that you're taking your time with it, very interesting. Well, let me read these off to you that popped out first. The Ace of Swords upright, overlaying the Three of Wands in reverse. Okay, now, and it's almost, it's kind of in suspension here. Whatever this clarity, this finalization of a decision is impending, and it's, I'm getting that you're waiting on something to surface. Okay, we just have here that popped out facing us, the Father of Wands upright, sitting right beneath the Four of Wands in reverse. Okay, Father of Wands looking over at the Four of Wands in reverse. You have the Three of Wands, the Four of Wands in succession. Okay, we'll heed that. You may be involved with an individual who has a lot of fire in their chart. If you have a lot of fire in your chart, then this is representing you. And or even if, let's say, right, you don't necessarily have a fire sign prominently placed in your chart, or a fire house, or a fire planet, then this can be speaking simply to your desire to manifest, okay, to create, to act upon the visions that we hold of what it is we want to create. Okay, but you're waiting on that clarity, the decisiveness that is related to whatever this creative vision is. Okay, so and I'm getting that, I'm hearing, it's a matter of ration. It's a matter of rationalizing I'm hearing the parameters, the barometers that may accompany this creative vision and intent. Okay, so I'm getting that there is desire. There is creative desire. There is an intention, okay, in a building one, I will say that. But the point that almost capacitates it, you're recognizing, I don't want to just go. I don't want to just press the zinger and surprise. Okay, I'm hearing surprise. I want to be totally sure of what I'm entering into, what I'm getting myself into. Okay, you understand that it's you who both opens the portal and moves through it. Now, okay, we have here these cards. I'm getting that they refer to the variables. Okay, now we have Three of Cups upright, the Strength card upright. Absolutely, some of you may be working with a Leo, okay, an individual with a lot of Leo in their chart. They're I'm hearing midheaven, okay? For a number of you, they're midheaven, the highest point in the chart. Their rising ascendant, their moon, or by way, yet again, of a strong 5th house, or the sun, okay, strongly placed sun. Nonetheless, you have the Ten of Wands in reverse that sits at the apex of these two cards, the Three of Cups upright, Strength card upright. There is a question of emotional idealism as it pertains to this individual. If this is another individual, there's a question of, I'm hearing the social bearings, the social workings, okay? For a number of you, I'm hearing social work. There is a culmination, though, of a certain process, the way in which you may have involved regarded this individual within the context of community, okay? Or a work-life, home-life situation, the boundaries, okay, that are almost merged between the two. So the emotional world and that which speaks of progress, getting things moving, working into the long term, functioning, getting things to a functional sort of level, okay, is the question. And you realize that there's almost, I'm hearing there's no turning back. It's like it's reached a certain capacity. It's reached a certain point, and this may be referring to you and to others. It may be referring to, I'm hearing for a number of you, family, home life situation, maybe referring to the discussion around the progress that's being made, specifically as it pertains to this individual, perhaps Leo, okay, strongly Leo for a number of you. But you have 2 3s here. Okay, the 3 of Wands and 3 of Cups. So there is a social dimension. I'm hearing yet again social work for a number of you. There is a social dimension to the progress that you seek to make. That is, I'm hearing out of this league. It's like what we've the way that we've been making the progress is so beyond. Okay, I'm hearing the workload is so beyond the workload. So there's something you realize perhaps is inefficient about the progress that has been made until this point, and there's a turnaround here. But it's a matter yet again of the clarity of the vision, of the uprooting, and the replacement of those mediums. Okay, the channeling, I'm hearing, of goddess energy for a number of you, but the creative mediums to capacitate change. You realize I need the clarity with that prior to coming out about how the past now reflects the future in a certain way, and how the merging point is now and impending. Okay, now let's keep these turned over, and they popped out in a set of 3, right? So 3 cards here in the dead center of the reading, and they're upside down. I'm getting yet again that these speak to the variables that are under consideration, but there is also a question of how to come out about it. Okay, absolutely for a number of you, and I'm zeroing in on blue kyanite, which speaks of air energy, which speaks of the clarity, the rationalized sort of thought, okay, the thought process, and it can be, right, this emphasis on, well, how, even if I have this clarity, I'm getting that you have the creative clarity, but when I have the clarity of how to capacitate that creative clarity in terms of communication, perhaps to others, okay, now, and I'm hearing what goes around comes around, so you're taking your time with it, very much so. But there's something, Capricorn, that you realize is imperative. Okay, I'm hearing to be made clear, and it's up to you yet again. You realize you're in the driver's seat with it. It's up to you to take on that responsibility of delivering the message. Okay, now let us pull the cards and see what comes through for you, Capricorn. Okay, now, new beginning on the table in terms of career finances for a number of you, very, very much so, but very interesting. The Ace of Pentacles is sitting atop this 2 of Cups, okay, both upright in your energetic pathway that you lead out with into the future, in tandem with the Mother of Pentacles in reverse. There is a focus on the emotional, I'm hearing socioeconomic, so for a number of you, absolutely, there is a social dimension to this, and there is a material, tangible, physical, I'm hearing assets, physical dimension to it as well. So the merging point between, I'm hearing the reflective point between the way we feel and the way that we participate in the third dimension of our reality is merged. We realize that. And we're seeking out greater cohesion, cohesion between the feeling of emotional satisfaction and the feeling of productivity in the direction that we understand in the long term will capacitate this emotional satisfaction. So it's the stability of emotional satisfaction, I'm getting, Capricorn, that is your concern here, and it may have to do with partnering up. It may have to do with another individual for a number of you. Yet again, Leo's coming through very strongly, and maybe with a Leo, okay, or a Leo and another individual. Now, yet again, you have a principle of the number 3 here, okay, that's strongly being echoed throughout. So take it as you will. You have the Two of Wands upright in your theme, overlaying Temperance in reverse, overlaying the Mother of Swords in reverse, overlaying the Lovers in reverse. Lovers is the Gemini archetype that we see in the major arcana. Now let me read all the cards off to you. The Empress upright in your deep past, okay? But I almost said recent past, so there could be a coupling effect with the Ten of Pentacles, which sits in your recent past. Ten of Pentacles in reverse, recent past. You have the Six of Cups in reverse in the energetic pathway that leads you into your current state of the Five of Swords upright. Now, in your advice, you have the Star in reverse. In your near future, you have the Son of Swords in reverse. In your hopes and fears, you have the Moon in reverse. And in your environment, you have the Five of Pentacles upright, Capricorn. It's very interesting. You can go from a Six of Cups to a Five of Pentacles. You have water and earth working so very closely together in your spread here. There's an emotional side of the story, and there's one that speaks to progress, finances, change, and I'm hearing the prolification, okay, of our dreams. So I'm hearing you're riding on progress. Your concern is how to carry this emotional new beginning into the long term in such a way that will capacitate and bring to fruition, I'm hearing, the many principles of progress and change. So how do I substantiate what it is that I'm seeking in an emotional way? Not just for the thrill of it, not just for the frill of it, but to make it, I'm here to make it real, to make it sound, to make it ring. Okay, I'm here to make it ring true as well for a number of you. So it's almost like, and I'm hearing profession, okay, profession of love for a number of you. I'm hearing it's like this. It's like before I don't want to just whisper it. I don't want to just mumble it. I want it to reverberate. Okay, and that's the kind of feeling. And your question is, well, how exactly is my method and my means to do that? Okay, now Capricorn. You have the archetype of Aries coming out for you in your reading, and it sits in your deep past. Okay, again, we have the number 3 coming out for you. That is a theme. It's a principle of manifestation of the constructive energy that is creative. Okay, yet again, creative, but constructive. And I'm hearing principles. You want whatever this new beginning is to be built upon a foundation of principles. Okay, so, and values, value system. Yet again, it's like, I don't want to just create for the sake of creating. Okay, I want to create with intention, and I'm hearing, and with momentum, whatever it is that I plant the seed for now, right? Assuring that the seed will pollinate in the next season. It's like that kind of, I'm hearing chapters. Okay, so you understand that what's set in motion, right? Almost is a continuous process, okay, I'm hearing, of rediscovery for a number of you, but also a process of creation unto itself. Now, the interconnectedness is a factor that you're focusing on, okay, I'm hearing the mothership, take it as you will for a number of you Capricorn. There's a culmination, though, that speaks to the financial side of the story, that speaks to the third dimension, okay, it was almost like this. For a number of you Capricorn, there was this sort of almost remembrance, like an event that caused you, stimulated your creative capacity to think, I'm here, to grow, okay? To exceed the boundaries in a certain way that you may have perceived or felt, and lived through in a certain dimension as it pertains to the material, tangible world. Now, came the point, okay, perhaps sometime in the recent past, where you recognize, it's up to me to change it. And I recognize just how much the emotional side of the story, my emotional involvement and my creative involvement, the display, the investment of my creative assets is related to what I create in the third dimension. And so there was almost this recoiling effect. Okay, you're like, well, wait a second. And it's almost like you had a taste of the good stuff. You had this, and it could have been someone who came along, could have been someone who portrayed this sort of archetype for you. Okay, it was like a glorious sort of a moment. Okay, I'm getting that for a small number of you, and it could have been an Aries, someone with Aries in their chart, but someone who it was very inspiring and very inspired as well. So if this is you and another, it's mutual. I am getting that. But there was then the question of, well, how does it all materialize in the third dimension in relation to the change I want to make? And so there was this, again, this recoiling effect, right? It's like, it's like you go home and you realize, well, what am I gonna do with this stuff? It doesn't resonate with this world that's drawing me. And so it's a matter of the matter that follows me, precedes me in every dimension of what I create. And so now there's this, I'm hearing the underpinning. The underpinning is the focus, the grounding and the roots of what has been, what you have participated in. Okay, again though, for a number of you, I'm getting strongly goddess energy. There's something about this propensity to create by way of embodying I'm hearing your principles and your vision, and I'm hearing your fashion as well for a number of you. Now I'm hearing outset as well, and this could be speaking to again, the physical dimension. I'm hearing the facade, the presentation of it is your question, the delivery of it is your question. Now we see that you move up into the Six of Cups in reverse, so I'm getting that is seen in tandem, and it's very interesting. You have 2 5s here, and they're in diagonal fashion. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is pointing backwards into the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. There is a great focus on this 10 of Pentacles, how to close out this chapter. Okay, we're recognizing the way that we may have participated in it. 10 of Wands that you pulled prior, but now it's really a matter of the actual physical, I'm hearing the density and the dimension of this old world that we may have participated in. How do I unravel from the seams of what does not serve me? Okay, and spiritually, I'm getting that very strongly, spiritually, specifically for you. Now, so there's this undoing of our participation in the third dimension in a certain way, Capricorn, and there is an emotional side of the story. We're seeing that. It may have to do with you and another, okay? It could be a marriage. I'm hearing a fortified bond, okay? I'm hearing I'm hearing treason for a number of you. Okay, so take it as you will. There may be a legal component. You do have the Son of Swords. You have the 5 of Swords. You have the 6 of Cups. Okay, there's a new rise of a beginning that is emotional on the frontier, on the horizon, though, that accompanies the newness of beginning. The substantiation of this new beginning, you have the 10 of Pentacles, the Ace. It's like a really quick turnaround, Capricorn. Okay, that is both, again, material, tangible, financial, and emotional. Okay, now I'm hearing thought speak. So there's something perhaps to do with the realm of connection that is psychic, that is spiritual, and it may be between you and another. I'm getting unrelated to the old world that you may have been participating in a certain way. You have 2 2s as well, the 2 of Wands, the 2 of Cups. 2 of Wands in your theme. Capricorn, I'm hearing Taurus and Pisces for you at the same time, so take it as you will. There may be a Taurus and or Pisces individual involved, okay, in a certain way. Now, 2 of Wands, there is a desire, Capricorn, to get the ball rolling. Okay, and you recognize it's up to me. It's up to me. I've got to pick up the wand, right? Father of Wands, and it could be yet again you and another. It could be right, the teaming, the joining of forces. You have so many cards that allude to partnership and duality as well. I'm hearing frame of reference, so take it as you will. Yet again, Capricorn, you have Temperance here in reverse. You're like, the time is now. And I'm hearing time has been ticking. It's like beyond ticking. It's like, what is ticking any longer? There's like, the clock has stopped working almost. Okay, time doesn't exist in the paradigm of the feelings that I feel to get things going. And so you're like not even thinking about the time anymore. You realize, ew, I don't exist in time. I exist in the moment of the desire, of the intention to create this new beginning. And so it may be in relation to an individual with a lot of air in their chart, Mother of Swords in reverse, someone who's very intellectual, very, very, very rational, takes a very logical sort of approach, so to speak, very book smart, okay, well read, okay, something about books for as it pertains to this individual. if this resonates with another individual being involved with whom perhaps you have perhaps lost a little bit of patience, okay, a lot of patience, okay, and so the direction that you want to move in is outside of the realm, I'm hearing, of discourse that has marked this old world in a certain way, and the way that you have handled this relationship, I'm getting relationship for a number of you, is changing, okay? And you're like, well, the way I see myself, and you've got a mother and you've got a father, the way I see myself in relation to the way that I have participated with this individual in the past is changing, is under review. But yet again, your focus is on the clarity of that review, reaching the clarity of that decision of, I'm hearing, the match point. The match point, how it is I'm hearing tangible resources, how to capacitate this new beginning in the third dimension. Now, so yet again, right, this may be in pertinence to an air sign individual, someone with a lot of, I'm hearing Aries for a number of you as well, so, right, there could be a connection here between the Empress and the Mother of Swords. Nonetheless, an individual who has a lot of Libra, Gemini, okay, I'm hearing Capricorn, so, right, there is an overlap here. It may be your very own energy, take it as you will. If it is your own energy, if it's referencing your own propensity, Capricorn, it may be speaking to the sort of thought forms, the ways in which we have perceived the changes that we want to make. It's like almost like the way that we have almost judged in a certain way, perhaps, the desires that we hold to be so true, so fundamental to the core of who we are. So, no, and I'm getting this feeling of thrown in the towel. Okay, it's like I'm hearing be gone with it. So there's rerouting in effect, but not just turning of the wheel, You're like, I want to know exactly with my GPS where, how, and why I'm getting there. Okay, now yet again, 2 5s, right? The 6 leading into the 5. It's almost like this, Capricorn. It's like all roads lead to Rome. Okay, all roads lead to Rome. All paths lead you to the point of recognizing that I've got to come out about how I feel about this old world in an official way. I've got to make it official. Okay, I'm hearing no longer sublingual messages. I've got to materialize I'm hearing my actions, my desires, my feelings that I feel towards this new beginning and towards what I know does not capacitate this new beginning in a certain way. I've got to come out with it all. Okay? And you're like, I know. I've got to, and you're like looking at that door. I just see like everyone looking at that door, realizing I'm hearing it all ends from here on out. My participation in it, once I come out about it, once I make it official and clear, I'm hearing to the world, it's official. And it will be characterized as this old world. So I'm hearing this dimension of the outset, of the onset. So it's like you're at the convergence point. You're at the head of the road, right? Just about to set out, and there's this desire. Yes, there is a desire to come out with that. To almost share with others the experience of having stood on the edge, on the periphery, on the merging of two completely polar realities, and I'm hearing polar forces. And so there's a desire to make clear what has remained perhaps in the shadows in a certain way. And we have the moon here in reverse, and your hopes and your fears, and it's not a question of do I want it. You're like, I want it. I want to make it absolutely crystal clear. Whatever this obscurity has been, I want to make it absolutely crystal clear. And for a number of you, there may be a certain form or stages of bureaucracy that are involved in the coming out, the clarifying process of what it is that this whole process has been. Okay, it's almost like that. But before I make it official and I say it and I do it, I've got to take the steps, right? To if for a number of you, if it's not legal counsel, to make it very, very clear yet again with this Ace of Swords, make it very, very, very clear. But you may be heeding legal counsel in a certain way. So I'm getting there's a preparative side to it that has to do with, I'm hearing intellectual property for a number of you, and finances, yet again, finances. Okay, now, you're getting Capricorn, you're getting that, yes, there is the dream, and that serves, okay, the intention, the vision, I'm hearing the vision seeking, the desire to just to dream of this new world. It's there, and it's the reason, it's the impetus for the whole change of events. But the focus for you is to close out, to officially confirm how you stand in relation to the world that just precedes this next chapter of your life. And so, right, the star in reverse in your hopes and your fears, Capricorn, it's like, it's not time yet to, I'm hearing hold what I dream of, to hold what I know to be true to me yet. I can't, in some way, I can't support this dream until I retract myself completely from what I have been committed to. And so it's like in me, it's almost like I can't feel comfortable in the space to dream until I make this official and come out with it and make it very clear, even if it is first by yourself to yourself, right? The process of admittance, okay. And I'm hearing the projection of the way that we see ourselves as we move through the progress into the long term. Okay, so now I'm hearing transference of range, So it's like almost like it's like a transitional sort of energy, and so it's almost like I got to come to terms with it first before I can put the sandals on and get ready for this cruise. It's like I've got to first close the books, okay, close the accounts. So there's this contemplation of resources and the energy and effort that has gone into the past in some kind of way that takes on a practical nature that precedes this dreaming, but it's so beautiful, Capricorn, this new beginning that you're moving into. And at the same time, yes, I get that there is this feeling. It's almost like bittersweet. It's like, well, as I part ways, okay, with this old chapter and this old way of sort of knowing myself in that world. At the same time, there is this. It's like a revival. It's the promise of revival, and it's a matter of understanding, seeing beyond this momentary, I'm hearing, confusion, this momentary, what has been perhaps confusing to you or others, this momentary feeling of confounding variables, okay, having been involved in something that just doesn't quite, I'm hearing, does not suffice us. We realize that it's not about focusing on the feelings, okay, of leaving this older dimension behind in a certain way, as we may see it, as we may feel it. It's about understanding why we are moving into the next. And you have Citrine sitting just atop this Five of Pentacles card in your environment, right? There's this, it's almost like, right, I'm hearing foreshadowing. You understand, you're like, this is of my own doing. I understand that, right, naturally, by way of retracting from this older world, I'm releasing certain things. And, right, so it's a question of, what is a bittersweet? Is it the release, just simply the release, okay? Or is it, right, a question of how I feel about this next new beginning? And so I'm getting, though, that you want this new beginning very much so, very, very much so. And it's just a matter of understanding and drawing closer to connecting deeply to why. Why this new beginning means for you, what it does. I'm hearing energetically, esoterically, symbolically, connecting to that emblem, I'm hearing, of force, of will, of drive, of passion, of excitement, right? And so there's this, it's like, I don't feel that it's like you're in the down and out. I don't feel that. I feel that it's like packing the bags. Okay, packing the bags. You were living in let's say you were renting a certain I'm hearing hostel. Okay, you were in I don't know, let's say an apartment or a hotel for however long, and yes, it was uncomfortable and the bed was creaky, okay, and the neighbors were loud and it was frustrating, but you still kind of got used to that world in a certain way. And so kind of the day that you're ready to pack your bags, it's like on one hand, you're like, I was packed from day one. But at the same time, I feel, okay, I feel the transience of myself, through myself, through my experiences, and that is in a way what is bittersweet, the growing up of me. And so it's your transformation, and it's not, right, yet again, it's not like, oh, I don't want to be moving, oh, why am I don't feel that. I feel, Capricorn, it's this, the maturation, okay, factor that, is endearing even to yourself. It's a self-reflective moment, okay, of just how much you've grown, and from what you have grown from, I'm hearing, and out of, and that is exciting to you, but also in a certain way sobering. And so we're seeing here, right, just in the final outcome, Mother of Pentacles in reverse, the ultimate, right, sort of unhinging of, right, the ways in which we have personified ourselves in a certain way in relation to the world of, yet again, perhaps finances, career, material assets. What has given us a certain sense of stability in a certain way for however long, could have been a long, long time, 10 of Pentacles, right? But and the Mother of Pentacles, I'm hearing it had time for growth, okay? It outgrew itself in a certain way, perhaps. There's the official sort of point where you're like, this is real. This change that I'm making is real, and it feels so real. I'm hearing it feels chilling. It's like, it gives you goosebumps to feel how real it is. But at the same time, energetically, I'm hearing you're so motivated by what comes next. Ace of Pentacles, Two of Cups, that you lead out with the Mother of Pentacles in reverse. Capricorn, I'm hearing the future is yours. It's lovely. Enjoy October. And this is your October reading from the 1st to the 15th approximately. Of course, energy is fluid, so it may permeate a little before the 1st, a little after the 15th. Nonetheless, thank you so much for joining me here with it. And I will be back with your mid-October readings, okay, so details pertaining that coming your way. Otherwise, thanks so much again, Capricorn, for tuning in. Have a beautiful October and rest of September, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hi there, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into your video. Again, this is a general announcement, and it pertains to the monthly readings and mid-monthly readings. A reminder, so for this month, I'll be doing it a little differently. Usually, right, I have two part readings for the month. I have from the 1st to the 15th and the 15th to the 30th. So the early portion, first half of the month readings, and that which pertains to the latter half of the month readings. Okay, so for this month, I want to be able to give the bulk of my time to the general readings, okay? And so to do that, I'm going to need to reduce the amount of energy and time that I put into the private readings that I do and the private services and so on and so forth. So to do that, I've decided to make accessible the mid-monthly readings by way of subscription, okay? And so you'll be able to access that via my website, alchemyandyou.com. Once this video goes live, it's available on the website. So you can click the link in the description box below, or simply go to alchemyandyou.com, and there should be a banner there at the very top. You can click that and subscribe for your spot to receive the mid-monthly reading, okay? And I'll be delivering that to everyone on October 11th. So feel free to check it out if you'd like more details. The link in the description box below. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Loving the light to you all on this exciting journey forward, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.